Do you know that there is a God that we can enter into his gate and we can also enter into his court? Do you know that there is a God, there is a deity that gave us permission into his gate and into his court? It's very important that you know who this deity is. Okay, so I want to show you where it is so that you really have time to meditate on this thing, because it has a very strong meaning. Okay, so if you look at Psalm 100 verse 4, go to Psalm 100 verse 4. It said, enter into his gate with thanksgiving and into his court with praise. He has a gate, he has a court. That means he lives in a palace. Yes, that means he lives in the palace. This God does not live in a tash place. This God does not live. See, he has a court, he has a gate, and he said you can access it. And the keys to access those two, very important aspect in a place, in a house, is thanksgiving and praise. So that is to say, without these two things, you cannot access his gate and into his court. That is to tell you, to draw your mind or your attention to the importance of thanksgiving and praise. So it's very important that we understand this thing, that there is a deity that has given us access and permission to enter into his gate and into his court. The court is where he lives, where his domain is, where he rules from. Okay, Zion, where he rules from. So if you want to access that place, he say praise. See, nobody can eat the praise. You see one beautiful thing about praise, I don't know, I want you to understand it. Nobody can take the praise of God. When you are giving him the praise, nobody dares it, or that person will be dealt with. He said, my praise, my glory would I not give to any man, neither my praise to a graven image. But do you know that there are many people that are giving the praise of God to images? Some have given the praise of God to men. They have given the praise of God. If you read Isaiah 42, you now read verse 8. He said, I am the Lord, that is my name. He said, my glory will I not give to another God, to another. My glory I will not give to another. He said, neither my praise to a graven image. So you must understand these things so that you will not fall a victim. So giving the praise to God gives you access to his court, where he really is. Then you begin to communicate. You communicate. It's a deity. It's a God. He lives in a court, in a palace, inside this court. He said you can access inside this court with praise. So how much praise have you been giving to God? Why don't you take those praise you give to men, to give to graven image, you give to your achievement, your personality. Why don't you take all those praise and return it to God? There are many people that are giving the praise of God to things that they don't even know. But the irony about the whole thing is that when you don't understand certain things, you become ignorant. And ignorant is not an excuse. That is why the scripture is there for you to read. You need to read it so that you can understand what is saying. Okay, so like I said, we can enter into his gate, we can enter into his court. His court is where he dwells, he rules from. Okay, so imagine you accessing that court and you are encountering God. If you don't know God in this life, that means your soul can be lost. You know why? Because the one that created humanity, you are running away from him. Now, one day everybody will leave this world, one day or the other. One day, as you grow old, you grow old. Yes, that is life. The other world, the world after this world, have you sat down to think how it will look like, or how it will look like, how it will be? But don't you like to secure your soul, like before that time, before you enter that world? Why don't you secure your soul and secure it in the right place? That is why God is telling you to don't give your praise to things that you don't know. Give it to him. Encounter God. Encounter God. That is the one thing I want you to understand, that in his court you can encounter him when you give him the praise from your heart, your spirit. Okay?